Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be jumping back into all the mods, and that's right, we're going to be getting ourselves some automation going, so I hope you guys are ready. So today we have loads that need to be done, and that's going to include setting up a Tinker's Construct Smeltery and also getting ourselves a farm running. That's what I want to do. As you can see, I've laid out some paths here, just to sort of add character, I guess. But I plan on having my farm set up over here, and downstairs I've done a little bit of work. You can take a look down here, or down ladder. I guess it would be down ladder. I've now made a output, or an entryway, whatever you call this. Anyways, I've tried to do the roof. I think I still need a piece there, a corner there. And then I want to talk about the stairs. That's why I haven't made stairs yet. Down here is where we're going to set up the smeltery. So I actually want the smeltery to stick out of the wall a little bit, and I want part of it to actually go into the wall. And so that's what we need to work on today. I should have enough seared bricks to hopefully get us a pretty decent size one today. So let's go ahead and start making some of the components that we're going to need. I do believe, yeah, I have some glass, but I'm gonna actually need more than that. So I'm gonna get some glass cooked up real quick. And what we need is a faucet. We're gonna need a casting table. We're gonna need ourselves a drain, smeltery drain. And I don't know, do we need, I mean, we're also gonna need a tank, and that's where this comes in handy. A tank and a controller. Now the controller, I believe, is just a circle block, and that's all of our main blocks that we're going to need. Now I do recommend also a casting basin and another smeltery drain. That's also helpful. So we'll do 2 of those, and then we'll also do a basin, right? Because there are some things that we could use those for. All right, so we have everything we need. Now remember, this sear tank is actually a portable tank, so you can fill it up with lava and carry it with you, and it'll still retain its materials. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn all of the seared into brick. And actually, if you have like mixed amounts, you can go over here and hit balance grid, and it will actually balance it for you. So it's kind of a handy little trick. All right, so let's go down here and let's set this thing up how we want it to be set up. Now remember, I said I wanted to stick it out of the wall a bit, and I think I want the main casting components to be right around here. This is the main wall. Of course, we're going to have decorations on it, but getting the smeltery set up is actually going to make doing the decorating a lot easier. So right on the front, I can go ahead and place the controller. On each side, we can do a smeltery drain. I think that usually works because that's going to give us a couple sides. Right here is going to be where we dig out for the rest of our furnace, but we can go ahead and go, okay, I want that there. And then our tables and stuff can go in the ground. And I kind of like that setup. So we'll do this casting table there and the basin here. And then we'll do our faucets here. So for right now, I only have 1 faucet. I'm not using this drain just yet. So when I need the faucet, I can go ahead and make one. All right, so all I have to do now is just sort of mine this out. The bottom section here needs to be mined out as well. This is going to be a 3x3 in the center. And I can go ahead and mine this section out. And you're going to see, with this being a 3x3, and boy, I can't wait to get the 3x3 tools, which is what we're going to need, which is going to involve us having this machine with this multi-block. So we're going to go ahead and push this out, just like that. What we do is put our seared brick in the wall, much like this, and also in the floor. And when we do this, this will now be a fully completed structure. And like I said, I want to expand this. We have a lot of room for expansion. Now, I do want to break this. We don't have any lava in here yet, but if I was to stand in here and we had some accelerant inside here, I would of course create blood inside this, and I don't really want to create blood in here. That is such a pain to get out, unless you're needing it for a recipe. So yeah, I'm going to continue to expand this, and that also includes throwing it up here until I get it to the proper size, and I think this is going to look pretty good. So I did a little bit of mining. I have an area nice and cleared out. Did spend quite a lot of time mining out material, As you can see, we've got this all filled up with cobblestone now, and I ended up grabbing about 37 or so iron. We're going to be needing that iron because what this furnace down here is going to do is it is going to allow us to duplicate this iron, and we are going to need that because I need to upgrade this tool station before we can start working on anything else. I really want to have a full tool forge. That's going to be the main thing. So let's go ahead and grab the iron. We'll grab this iron here. And we also have this iron laying over here. That's going to work as well. I want to basically put this into the furnace. Now, we could make a normal iron bucket, since we do have a little bit of iron, so I think we can invest in that. But if you don't have this, a clay bucket will suffice. Just remember, it's a one use only if you're going to use lava. But in my case, I've been doing a little bit of mining, so I created a nice little mine shaft that goes all the way down to Y level 12. You gotta love this. Look, it goes all the way down. But we do kind of have a little bit of luck here. There's a lava pool right here. Now, keep in mind, this is kind of dangerous because there are mobs that can spawn in this. And they are gross. They are lava octopus, and they do spit fire at you, and they are very dangerous. So keep that in mind. You don't want those guys messing around with you. As they can hurt you. Unfortunately, there's not one in there for me to show, but believe me, you will probably see one, especially when we do some mining adventures, once we get some nice tools. So, yeah, what I can do is actually take this. If I want, I can literally just pick this up, and I could carry this with me. So we can drop this down here, and I can just scoop in some lava into it, just like that, and pick it up. And I can carry it with me. This is a portable tank that holds 4 buckets of lava, as you can see in there. And we're good. So what I want to do is throw all of my iron ore in there. And because this is a furnace that is pretty large, it can hold quite a bit of iron. Now what I want to do is cast it into my basin. So I went ahead and moved my faucet. We do have enough to create another faucet. I probably should have done that. We do have 3 left over, I believe. It's in my... Yeah, we do have 3. Oh, perfect. Like, so we can just make another faucet. Leaves us perfect amount in case we need to cast out iron bits. But right now we're more focused on just getting the molten lava in here, or molten iron in here, and spitting it out into iron blocks. We need 4 of them to be exact. And then we're also going to probably need a little bit more grout. I don't know what material we're missing. Oh no, we don't need grout. We just need the bricks. I was thinking we needed a bit of grout, but we don't. So there we go. And we just need to cast out 4 of those. Once this is done filling up, you just right click it after it hardens. It'll take a little bit of time, but it will turn into a solid block. We can automate this later. We're going to need iron tools though to be able to break some of that redstone that's down there before we can even think about automating anything. So now that I have the iron blocks that I need, I can take my tool station and upgrade this bad boy. And the thing is we don't even need that much iron for this. Like, we don't need that much at all, even though we do have a bunch downstairs. It's really hard to cast it out because we don't have gold yet, and we also don't have the other material that you can use, which I believe is aluminum brass, which is aluminum and copper, I do believe. So yeah, we don't have either one of those, but we do have some other materials. So let's go ahead and take our seared brick, and we can go ahead and make ourselves a tool forge. Oh yeah, man, we got this thing. This is amazing because we have tons of different materials now we can make, including a hammer. And a hammer is going to be really nice, and we can actually make a hammer pretty easy right now. So let's go ahead and make the large plate. Of course, that's one thing we need to make. We also are going to need to make some of these tough materials, including a tough tool rod. And this is also going to make mining trees and things like that a lot easier. So much easier, guys. We're also going to need probably some more casts. So let's see. We need just sticks in this for that. Very simple for here. And we'll just go ahead and get some of our materials made. So we're still working with tinkers, right? So let's go ahead. We'll get the broad axe. We'll also get ourselves the hammerhead and also the wide shovel. All of these things are really nice. So if we pop into here, right here, the part builder, we need to look at what the hammer requires. So we do have a hammer head that we can put in the middle, and also our tool rod. For right now, I think it's going to be best if I just use wood. So for the handle, I'm just going to use some wood. And we're just going to make a regular iron or regular cobblestone part for right now. Because that's just what we have the materials for. But believe me, it is going to be a lot better mining with this than it is a single pick. So, all right, let's go ahead and make this thing. There we go. And we get ourselves a lovely, clumsy hammer that has very little durability, but that's where the repair kits or the sharpening kits come in handy. But believe me, we are going to be making a much better version of this soon. So now that we have that, let's also make ourselves the best axe in the game, the one that chops down the whole tree, which is probably the best tool to make right now, even out of stone. So you can see right here, this is going to require a plate and a binding. We can probably make this, the binding, out of wood as well. And we'll also make the rod out of this. And we're also going to need a plate. That we'll make out of stone. And that should be pretty easy to repair and pretty simple to use. There we go. So these are stone tools, even though we do have the ability to forge metal in this thing. But we can chop down a whole tree. So I'm going to go ahead and sleep, and then we're going to put these tools to work. Now, I don't know if this thing works on these trees or not. Oh no, we have a TNT. Oh, this guy is nasty. That's a nasty creeper, you. Get out of here. I should have slept sooner. And this guy's going to get me killed. Alright, maybe we should have stayed inside. I'm thinking at this point we should have stayed inside. Oh, good. He killed that guy. And he killed himself. How convenient is that? So was he setting the ground on fire? That's very interesting. His TNT doesn't actually explode things. But that's some of the mobs, by the way, I have to deal with. So it doesn't look like this tree fells or whatever. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, yes it does. This also mines in a 3x3. So this is a really convenient tool for tree harvesting. So like if you want to chop down the whole tree, just break the bottom block. And it cuts down the whole tree. This is going to make farming for wood so much more, so much easier for us. And much more fun. Much more fun. Now, same goes for this hammer. The hammer is going to work very similar. It's going to break a 3x3 space. And like I said, later on, we're going to get some better materials. Now, I do want to upgrade this thing. I think I can do it right off the bat. And make this iron level. Because right now, it cannot mine things that are iron level. And I think to do that, that's going to put this... We just need to combine a flint sharpening kit onto it. So we take a sharpening kit. We make it out of flint. And then we take our hammer and put flint in here with flint. And this is going to give us iron level mining on our hammer. Now, it doesn't use any modifiers. See, we still have 3 modifiers we can apply to this thing. Some good modifiers I would like to have on this later on is probably some speed, maybe some more durability. Maybe we can diamond tip this later on if we find some diamond. But this guy is going to be very useful. Now, you did see I stopped up here. This was intentional. So I left this little area up here because there are some ore that I do remember that actually spawn and have a higher spawn rates around this level 45. And that would be things like tin and copper and materials like that. Anywhere between 45 and 40 and so on, they're going to have a pretty high spawn rate. So that's kind of why I left that there. Now we get further down here. This is a ravine and I did block it up. You can see I tried my best. This is a nasty place. You do not want to be here right now. I tried my best to close it in as best as I could. And you can see right here, here's a bunch of materials that we couldn't mine just because we didn't have high enough durability. But now we do. Now we should have, I think this says diamond level, but we are at iron level right now. We can probably make a sharpening kit that is iron, since we do have enough iron. And that would probably also get us up, because that's going to be our next level. So I think we should go ahead and do that. But I did want to kind of show off some of the mine that I've done so far. This is just with a single pick. Also, you hear that noise? That's that lava octopus I was talking about earlier. So before I mentioned that you can use clay, well, yeah, you can actually use clay. And we're actually going to do that because we still don't have this material here, which you can get from aluminum brass. But clay is going to work as a single-use cast. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to use this to make a sharpening kit. This is going to upgrade this thing to, I believe, diamond level? Or it's going to put it above iron level, I know. It's kind of weird how that is counted. But I believe it puts it at diamond level so we can actually mine diamond. But we do need to wait, and there we go. So we have to click this to select it, and we're just going to throw a stone sharpening kit on here, and we're going to pour it out. That's going to get us our first cast. And the funny thing is these tools will still be repaired, even though their level's going up. They are still going to be repaired at cobblestone level. And that's what I like to keep it at, even though I know these things can be upgraded later on. So let's go ahead and cast this. We are at still 4 blocks left in here. That's still a lot of iron. So you're going to notice this cast is going to get used up. There we go. But that gives us a sharpening kit. And this is going to be used to level this thing up. This is how I recommend doing it, is leveling this thing up this way. You, of course, can level it up other ways. This is just a little trick that I have at least learned. This is going to put it at diamond level. So now, it says, isn't it iron pick? Even though this isn't even made out of iron, it still is repaired with cobblestone. Now, this doesn't increase its mining speed or anything like that. That is going to have to be done with modifiers. And its durability is still low, so we have to keep that in mind. But I should now be able to mine what I couldn't mine earlier. So, like this redstone, for example. I couldn't mine it earlier. Now I can. Looky there. All because we just made a singular cast that we can apply to this thing. So I do want to mention, if you are mining underground like this, be careful. You might need to have, I think there was a Geiger counter that you spawn in with, you start with. I forgot to put it back in my inventory, but there are some ore that do irradiate you. So be sure to check if the ore is coming from nuclear craft, be careful. Like uranium ore and things like that, you got to be careful with, because it can potentially irradiate you. Say like the lithium, I don't know if these do that, but if they do, you're probably not going to want to mine them. So I'm going to do my best to avoid nuclear craft ores, at least for right now. But later on, of course, you are going to want to mine them up the best you can. So I'm going to separate, 3 blocks out here. I'm going to start mining out this way. And I can tell you, this may seem slow right now. If you throw some redstone on here, it's going to go a lot faster. But this is still way faster than mining with a regular pick. Way faster. And like I said, you see how we're taking durability? All you got to do to repair it is just throw a stone sharpening kit, which requires 2 cobblestone to make, and you're golden. You're straight up golden. Remember how earlier I said there was an octopus that kind of likes to hang out in this lava pool over here? Well, here's this guy. And believe me, he's not your friend. So you see it doing that? That means it's time to go. Yeah, because this guy will lay down, oh my gosh, some lava fire on you. No joke. That is not a fun guy to play with. So, I did end up finding some gold, which is great, because this allows us to make some casts. I'm going to go ahead and throw the gold in here to get that cast up. That should provide us with 5 casts, because each cast, when you use gold, is going to require 2 material. And that's just how it goes. If you use aluminum brass only requires 1 material, but for gold, it's a bit more expensive. We did find some lead ore and some other things like that, and a bit more iron ore, which is always great. But what we're going to do is we need to automate ore processing using these materials and using the smeltery, because this is going to be our early game ore processing unit. And so we have to make a few things in order to do that. One is going to be piping. And I was thinking about piping, and we also need a redstone clock. So redstone clock is pretty simple. We have all the materials to make that. But piping, so item conduits might work. I don't know all of the materials that are in here. We have transfer nodes. Those are always very cheap and useful. And we also have like the opaque item ducts, which I believe are not that expensive as well, which is going to be tin and lead. In which we do have tin and lead, I believe, or at least I know how to get some. But these also require servos, which are kind of expensive. So I think it's probably going to be best just to use item conduits, or not item conduits. transfer nodes. So some good old-fashioned transfer node and pipe, which we have stone, and we do have glass, and some chests, and some redstone. Pretty simple. I have all the materials ready to go. All we have to do is now cast out our e-cast. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the gold down. And we can actually use a brick, a regular clay brick, as a mold for an ingot. And this is what we're going to use to cast out our iron. So I'm going to go ahead and get that first cast out. Is going to consume that. Now we are left with just a blank cast in here. And we can cast out gold if we want. That's not necessarily what I want to cast out. So I'm going to take this, throw that back in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast out 2 more pieces of iron. You can see this is a really tedious process. We don't want to be doing this ourselves. We have to click this to turn it on, and we have to right-click this to pull it out. That's not the exact way I want to do this. So what I have in mind is going to be a little bit easier. So what we can do here is items can automatically be imported into the controller. I'm not too concerned about that just yet. We can use a hopper or really anything to do that. I can even move the controller over here, and we could automate on this side and just leave this blank. But what I want to do is I want to automate the faucet. To do that, we are going to need to make ourselves a redstone clock. Now, you have 2 kind of clocks that I think are going to work the best. You can, of course, use vanilla clocks. But you have this redstone clock, which is very user-friendly. All you got to do is place, and that's it. So this is super easy, and also less resource efficient, or this costs less. This redstone clock is very configurable. It can do a lot of different things. And what we can do with this one is actually get the timing down so that way it is just perfect for our materials, even though that's probably not going to be that necessary. So what we can go ahead and do is we can place this down. Open up the config. It's going to be set to always on. We're going to take down the tick duration, or the delay on the ticks. We're going to take that down to 5 because I don't need that to be a long delay. And I'm going to bring this up. I believe it's set to 80. I think that is the right delay. So 80 and 5. And then down here, I'm going to pop down, pick up those blocks, pop down. All right. And then we're going to take a transfer node and pop that on the bottom. This is going to pull the item out, as you can see right there. We're going to build ourselves back out of here. And very simply, we're going to place down our transfer pipes. That's going to automatically connect to the bottom down there. And then we're going to bring that up into a storage crate. Now, if you don't know what storage crates are, they are beautiful. They are huge chests. They are literally 4 chests in size. They consume 4 chests, and they take up 1 block. So these things are very nice to have, and like I said, they are very easy. This is very easy to automate, and as you can see, we just did. So now what this is going to do is it's going to cast everything out. Now, we are going to want to stop this eventually, and to do that, we can just toggle it on ourselves, or we can make it require redstone and put a lever on here. That might be the thing we need to do later on. Right now, I'm just going to leave it set to always on. But if you want to toggle it off, you can just click this button. Whereas the other one, you have to have a lever on it. So that would also work. And this is going to cast out all of our material. Now, if there's not enough, and say you have just a small smidge amount in here, it will not work. So keep that in mind. It looks like I broke it. There we go. That might fix it. Yeah, this thing can be kind of finicky. It is cyclic, so yeah, maybe changing that broke it. I have no idea. But like I said, if all else fails, we might switch back to the extra utilities one, because I know that one works, and it works phenomenally. So I mentioned at the beginning of the episode I was going to talk a little bit about stairs and what I like to do with them. There's a mod in here called Block Craftery. So if you take a look at Block Craftery, it adds in stairs that are fully customizable and allow us to use any block on them. And to make it, it is literally just as simple as using sticks. And you can make quite a bit of them, and it does provide a good material, or a good source to be able to make some stairs. So what I want to do with them is I want to use some of this chiseled dark oak that I have been working with, and I want to utilize that. That is what I want to utilize for stairs. Stairs for over here, for example, that were needed. And then stairs for down here, in which I did go ahead and finish working on this. And stairs for this. That needed it, you know. I think that looks pretty good. Now, to add the material, all you got to do is simply right-click on it. And you can now add chisel material that match to your builds. So you don't have to worry about, oh man, I chiseled these blocks and I can only create normal stairs out of them. And yeah, this way everything looks nice and neat and everything is the same. That's kind of what you want with your builds, right? And this is what I recommend doing, is this right here. And I think that looks wonderful. Now, when it comes to these side bits here, I think I'm planning on just doing a little stair pattern like this. Just like so. And this is going to just add a little bit of depth. Having these open like this just add depth in my opinion. Same for this bit over here. And of course these just use an axe. And it's been so much easier since I was able to gather up some materials. Now this right here is going to be a little bit different. I think I'm going to extend this, maybe break this one right here, and then raise this up one. And then we can do this. Otherwise we'll get this weird look going on that I don't necessarily want. And so yeah, I think that's going to look pretty good. And we're going to add this all the way through. And it's, man, I've never built with the mineral wood, and I think it looks really good. It really looks great against the dark planks as well. So there was one other thing that we really needed to do before we end today's episode, and that is to go ahead and get ourselves a farm. Now, hoeing the ground should end up yielding us some of these guys, which are worms. And we might utilize some of them. I don't know if in this pack they have a timer, but that might happen. So what I can go ahead and do is harvest all of this, or hoe all this land that we're going to set a farm in. It is going to decay like this, but if you harvest grass, that is the chance that you will get yourself some worms. So I figure, why not go ahead and harvest myself out a pretty decent area and hope that we can go ahead and get some worms. Now I am going to harvest pretty much most of this grass. At least that's the plan, because of course, the area that we won't be using, it'll heal back and turn back into grass. And that's what we want. So if this is broken, we can go ahead and repair it. Man, I love having stone tinker's tools right off the bat. So these worms are going to help our crops grow a bit faster. They do have a chance of helping give it like a bone meal effect occasionally. Which is pretty nice. And they should work pretty well with a 3x3 area. Alright, so let's kind of take a look at our house. If we put one right here, for example, it will till this, and it will make sure it's saturated. Now, that means we do not have to have a water source there. So if we utilize these properly, we can make farms that don't need water sources. Which is always nice, right? That is like the best thing you can do. So this right here, in essence, makes yourself a 9x9 farm, and we still have 6 of them left. Like this right here is a beautiful 9x9 farm. I can, of course, expand that and make it even larger. Now, if you want to break one of these guys, you have to break the block they're on. That is the only way to break them, so just keep that in mind. And as you can see, there we go. I think I need one more. Which will probably get me 2, because I think they drop in, yeah, they drop in pairs. And we can just place that guy right there. Perfect. And then of course we want to light up the area around. We don't want no bad guys spawning. Plus light also helps your crops grow. Now this can cause, if you don't have a water source in here, it can cause potential lag if you have huge crops. Because as you can see, some of these are dehydrating, and then they're being rehydrated. So keep that in mind that these guys will do that. And you don't want your crop popping off. If it becomes fully dehydrated, of course it will turn into dirt. But that should not happen. You shouldn't have crops breaking, because these guys do update it every few ticks. So anyways, now that we have a decent sized crop over there, of course it's not decorated or anything like that. I plan on doing that very soon. We can go ahead and plant ourselves some seeds. I'm going to go with just plain Jane seeds for right now to get ourselves some wheat. And that's because we need to harvest ourselves some cows, and I'd prefer to breed some cows. They are over there, so I plan on bringing them home and creating a nice little farm for them. Cows are going to be super useful. We need them for leather and tons of other materials. So leather, and they are a great food source. So that's also another plus. So if you want to help speed up the growth of your crop, I do recommend making a sprinkler. It is a fairly easy thing to make, and it will be well worth it for especially things like hemp and things that are kind of slow growing. And also we do want a lot of rice seeds, since rice seeds are slime and they're also sugarcane because they can make paper as well. It's very versatile plant there. So what we need to do is place this on water, and it looks like that doesn't consume our bucket, but it does take our water out of it. And we can place this directly in water. And what I might actually do is take a block, find the center of this crop, which I believe is right here. Should be on one of these guys. Actually, it's split down the middle, isn't it? Because of how we have this set up. So it won't be exactly equal, which I mean is okay, I guess. I do need to go ahead. I guess I'll just place it right here. And what this is going to do is every now and then, this is going to also boost our crop growth, which is going to help even more. And I think this works in a 9x9 radius. So it looks like these may not get everything. Let's push this one more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right here. There we go. And it'd probably be best if this was actually inside our crops, inside our area. So I don't know if it helps on sugarcane, but we can go 4 blocks out and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so right here. Right here we'll need a bucket of water. Then we can place this right on the side. I think that'd be way more efficient. Of course, our crops are not in the best position in the world, but that's going to work. And that should help speed up definitely this crop growth. You're going to notice that a lot more. These are going to grow way faster than vanilla. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.